Adventure of an Unemployed Graduate, the untold story of every frustrated graduate. That's the book on our book chat this morning. Mayowa John Ajibodu now is the author of this book, a wonderful person. He is a youth advocate, inspirational speaker, event host, author, and entrepreneur. It's great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Is there a difference between an inspirational speaker and a motivational speaker?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
All right. So for me, you talk more to the spirit. Motivation is more of the physical appearance, just like telling an exercise person, a therapist, and asking somebody to do a psychological work. Yeah, so it's a bit different.
Okay,
so.
all right, okay, I get you from there. Now, this is something that I saw the book and the title and I smiled. I was like, yeah, this is something that almost everybody, if not anybody, if you cannot relate with it personally, you know somebody in your family, your friend, who can relate with this one. Why did you, it's a work of fiction, right? But then, of course, inspired by real life events.
Exactly.
What inspired the writing of this book?
Yeah, pretty much, when you go through the book, it's more similar to my story.
Okay.
And so all I just wanted to do is to make the average youth, the average graduate, the younger person to see that there is life beyond the limitation of white-collar employment. You know, some of us go to school and we just have this mindset that after, if I do well, study well, I come out with good grade, there will be a job out there waiting for me. Unfortunately, we finish from school and realize that that job is not there. So rather just waiting and, you know, depending on family members, giving excuses for your lack of not getting job, employment. You know, there are so many other things you can do.
You can do.
So I've always believed that unemployment is a state of mind, you know, and it affects those with limited information. So all you just have to do is get access to information, and that is what the book is about, you know. It talks the story of a young person who finished school, you know, struggling, you know, trying to get a job. He came out with first class. He believed that he was going to get a job after that. But
you know, when you say coming with first class, you've now relegated a number of people because there are not so many that came out with first class.
So in the book, I was so careful not to say, okay, first class person. So I also have a story of other people who didn't have first class. They had a past.
So we have different storylines in the same book. We have 5 chapters here.
But the focus is about the young guy who feel that his first class would make him get the job.
But let's be really, how many, you know, I've heard that story a number of times, but I've not met, in school, when I finished school, all the people I knew that came out with first class, they pretty all got something quite very soon. I've actually not met a first class who actually was looking for a job after. You have that sort of experience? You met someone like that?
The ratio would be a bit, I can tell you for a fact, maybe most of these people who are first class are people who after graduation had governor come into their school, had private organization come into their school, and they just want to support because you did well in school.
Exactly.
But if that is not the case, it's a bit of challenge because, you know, the system is not encouraging, their platforms are not encouraging to create platform or give opportunity for those who go through the first. You know, what school does, especially in this part of the world, is teach us how to speak good grammar, you know, exchange pleasantries, how to shake, how to hug, how to dress well. But how does the school prepare you for the practical life after school?
Well, on that we all agree. So we go through getting a degree. It's in 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is getting a degree. What challenges did you highlight here about getting a degree? What were the high points here?
Yeah, so I think the first one is the fact that, you know, you go for a university for a course you're supposed to spend 3-4 years for, you end up spending 5-6 years. Yeah, so it's a bit of challenge in this part of the world. And so this young man went to school, spent some certain numbers of years in university. At the end of the day, studied hard, you know, deprived himself of some social life because he believed that, like what he has heard from his parents and from another person, is that when you study well, that is when you can get a good job. You know,
and
so
he
didn't engage in social
life.
Straight
into job hunting.
Exactly, and then he just went, and from there, he came into the market and he wants to look for a job. And so the jobs were not available. Eventually, he had to go and be doing car wash, doing media jobs, you know, become home tutors for students and all of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving into chapter 3, the adventure. What adventure are we talking about?
Yeah, so what I wanted to do there was, so there are high-paying jobs beyond white-collar employment. All right, so what I wanted to do is, rather than just, so he searched for a job in chapter 2, but then couldn't find. And one of the excuses interviewers gave to him is, you don't have experience, you lack experience. So why not do something? Why not engage in other jobs, volunteer and all of that, and see how best you can have
gain that experience.
So what he did was, he wanted to do something unusual. He went to Mushi, for instance, and then you know, partner with all these drivers that want to be a conductor. It's crazy. But the truth of the matter is that an average conductor makes more than some of us who sit in the office.
You can say that. A lot more.
Yeah, so he did there, and from there he grew his passion into, you know, becoming a mechanic. eventually the young man you see who came up from doing accounting ended up being a mechanic, and so that was more of the adventure experience, work as a conductor, go to learn about mechanics works and all of that.
Yeah, so I can see the progression. And after the adventure, he worked in Toyota. This,
yes.
It's, of course,
yes.
we know him in there. He was working there. This was a white-collar job.
Exactly. So the idea is, I don't want people to see that, okay, so if you don't get a job, the next thing is to be an entrepreneur. So the idea is also to see that you can still get a job if you got the experience, if you volunteer, if you put yourself to some. And
entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
It's not.
So and everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. So who will you say to everybody? Say, come on, man.
Exactly.
So at times when we hear that thing,
and if you go into entrepreneurship without the passion, without the flair, you just end up living a frustrated person.
So becoming an entrepreneur, what would you say are let's in very fast? What are the basic traits or requirements you need as a person that will make you a good entrepreneur?
Yeah, first is the passion, because being an entrepreneur is not something that comes. You must be the tenacity must be there.
But just before you go, talking about passion, I remember someone saying that look at Dangote. I don't think he has a passion for cement.
He doesn't need to have passion for cement, but he has passion for the business.
Okay, for the business of making money.
Exactly.
So he could be the passion.
And then he came. The passion is what kept him going, even when he started, when the money wasn't coming. And then over time, he understood the how. So for every businessman that wants to be an entrepreneur, you need to understand the how of your business. I cannot do your job if I don't understand the how first. So you need to don't come into that space without understanding first the how of every business.
Thank you very much. This is quite an interesting read. I love the colors and all of that. And wishing you the best.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Okay, that's it. You could just check out this one, a story that will inspire you going through the phases of from. There was even a mention of JAMB, yeah. We didn't talk about that one, but we know how it is, yeah. Up until the point where someone becomes an entrepreneur, and yeah, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Winfrey, I know you have some entrepreneurship skills right there. I've seen you display it in some different measures and all of that. You're about to display it in the kitchen now, right?